It's the most wonderful time of the year to go out and get book shopping. Hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Aoife and today I am taking you through all of the books that I am excited for that are coming out in October and November. December I did take a look at, but there didn't really seem to be a whole lot of new book releases in December. I think it's because in the lead up to Christmas, quite a lot of books are already on the shelves. They're already habiting on the bestsellers list. So maybe there is just more of a focus on October and November. So that is what this video is going to do today. To be honest, most of the books in this video are going to be contemporary romances, but these are such cute and cozy ways to settle in with a book over November, December. Starting off with books that were released on the 1st of October, and the first one is Nothing Like the Movies by Linn. This is the sequel to Better Than the Movies, which I read a couple of years ago and absolutely adored. It's following Wes and Liz, who, after the end of Better Than the Movies, are now in a super cute and happy relationship, except that tragedy has stuck and Wes is completely excommunicado. When he tries to get back with Liz and when he tries to kind of win her affections back, she is having none of it. About 6 months later, we join them again and they are off to different colleges, but Wes is determined to win the love of his life back. So he concocts a massive scheme which is going to draw on some of her favourite romance movies and favourite romance tropes to try and remind her how much he loves her. It's just that Liz isn't very open to all of these efforts and she might be making a few new friends in college that Wes isn't super happy about. Also out on the 1st of October was Make the Season Bride by Ashley Herring Blake. When I tell you she is one of my favourite authors, I am in no way exaggerating. I ate up the Bright Falls series whole, and I am so excited to see what her next book is going to be about. This is about Charlotte, who was left at the altar by her fiance 5 years ago, but she has started to piece her life back together, and she is now part of a choir ensemble in her locality in New York. Over Christmas, she is looking to be spending the season alone, but Sloane, one of her friends in the ensemble, is having absolutely none of that, so invites Charlotte back to Colorado with her to spend the holidays with her family. What they don't expect is that Sloane's sister is going to bring a friend of hers, and Adele's friend turns out to be none other than Brighton, the exact person who left Charlotte at the altar 5 years ago. So now Charlotte and Brighton have to pretend that they have never set eyes on one another, that they don't have this huge complicated history, and try not to make Christmas an absolute shitstorm for everybody. However, when you're getting two exes back together in the same room, sparks often start to fly between the two of them. Out on the 8th of October is The Wedding Witch by Erin Sterling. This is the third in the X-Hex series and it is following Bowen and Tamsin. Bowen is a warlock who is kind of living in solitude in the North Wales mountains, and Tamsin may not be a witch herself, but she definitely profits off of them because her witching business in town is absolutely booming. The two of them are invited to the wedding of the century, and Bowen isn't exactly delighted to be here, but he's here to keep his friend Declan company, and Tamsin has other ideas. She is here to steal something from the huge manor house where the wedding is being held, because if she can get the money back from that, that is going to see her through maybe 6 or 7 retirements worth. However, Bowen and Tamsin are accidentally transported back to 1957 while at this wedding and looking around all of the artifacts, and the entire book is them trying to correct their hijinks and trying to get back to the present day while also trying not to fall in love with one another. Out on the 10th of October is What I Ate in a Year and Other Thoughts by Stanley Tucci. I am obsessed with Stanley Tucci and he is one of the men who is allowed to stick around when us women take over the world. Over 1 year, Stanley chronicled all of the meals that he had been eating and takes a look back at them. Whether it was in restaurants, whether it was on his own kitchen table, whether it was at press junkets for any movies he had been working on, whether it was on the movie set themselves, he takes a look back at every single thing he had been eating over the entire year, the people he had shared it with, the experiences that he was having eating them, and I am so intrigued as to how that's going to go. Stanley is one of the biggest foodies out there, so anything that he has got to say about food is definitely something that you should be listening to. Out on the 15th of October is 8 Nights to Win Her Heart by Miri White. This is going to be the first Hanukkah-based book that I will ever read, and I really need to start expanding my horizons there. A lot of the holiday romances that I read are around Christmas, but I have never read something about Diwali or about Kwanzaa or about Hanukkah, so I think it is definitely time to change that. This book follows Andy, who isn't particularly looking forward to her first Hanukkah since her father's death, but she's also got the uncertainty of her job looming over her and a move across the country that isn't exactly inspiring her to get in the holiday spirit. Her neighbour, Leo, who has had a crush on her since he first laid eyes on her, finds her in the hallway one day having spilled her grocery bags all over the floor, and when he notices everything that she's getting ready for Hanukkah, he decides to invite her to have dinner with him for the first night. Over the next 8 nights, they get to know each other a little bit better, they share some Hanukkah traditions that they've had with their families, and the bond between the two of them starts to deepen, but Andy's move is still looming at the end of the horizon. Coming out on the 24th of October is Under the Mistletoe with You by Lizzy Huxley Jones. This is a follow-up to Make You Mine This Christmas, which was released last year, and I absolutely loved this. This is about Christopher, who has just closed up his bakery and his shop for the Christmas season and is so excited to get back with his family and start celebrating properly. He's even managed to find a tenant to sublet his apartment to while he's away, and that tenant turns out to be Nash. Nash is a huge Hollywood star who is in the area to prepare for a role, and Christopher's had a crush on him ever since he saw him in a Hallmark-style movie last Christmas. However, plans are getting a little bit scuppered. The country has been hit by a huge snowstorm, and there is absolutely no way for Chris to get back to his family. So Chris may have to spend the festive season in his apartment after all, and Nash is going to be there too. Coming out on November 5th is The Temporary Roomie by Sarah Adams. This has already come out a couple of years ago, but the edition that's coming out in November has got an all-new, never-before-seen chapter, so this extended version is definitely one to pick up if you're a Sarah Adams fan. This is about Jessie, who is the manager of the Honeysuckle Saloon, but she's always had things under control. Except that now she is in the 3rd trimester of a rather unexpected pregnancy, and things are starting to fall apart underneath her feet, particularly the water pipes bursting in her apartment. When she calls for help, the person who comes over is Drew. He is her brother's best friend, and she and he have never particularly seen eye to eye because Drew has got some opinions that Jessie doesn't particularly sign up to. Those are the books coming out across October and November that I cannot wait to pick up. What books coming out across the last 3 months of the year are you super excited to get to? If you'd love to leave me a comment but you can't think of anything you'd like to say, then just leave me the shopping bags emoji. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.